So hello everyone and welcome back to the Deercast. For any of you that watch any of our videos, you'll see that Harry and I both have Freyr and Devik moderators on most of our rifles and we absolutely love them, partly because they just seem to work really well, but partly also aesthetically they really finish off a rifle very nicely. Now, one of the biggest questions or most commonly asked questions we get posed in relation to the Freyr and Devik moderators is their longevity. I think there were a couple of rumours flying around a few years ago about one or two of them failing, and so as a result we seem to be inundated with questions about their reliability. So what we thought we'd do is bring you a video of me dismantling my Freyr and Devik Featherweight 149, which is their little diddy one, that I've had for 3 years now fitted atop of my kit plough for my Merkel K3. Now, I use my kit plough quite a lot. It's not just a summer rifle. It probably gets used once a week during the season, and then my other rifle fills the rest of the gap. So this has not been something that has just sat on the shelf not being used. It does get used and abused. The only thing I really do, or the two things I do to take care of it, is probably once every 6 months I take it apart and give it a complete sort of birthday, a complete clean inside and out. And then after each use, if I've fired through it, I spray some Napier Silent Save down it. Now, I have found with Silent Save, whether it works or not, I don't really know. I think it does, because when I do dismantle it, I find that the rubbish inside has built up in layers, and actually you can chip away in between each layer quite easily with the Silent Save. Whereas when I've had moderators before, non-Freyr and Devik ones, all that stuff has built up in layers, but actually trying to chip away at it is virtually impossible. So, providing my camera skills are up to scratch, we are literally going to dismantle this live for you on camera and show you what it looks like. It's been about 6 months since I've last taken it apart, and as I said, this has been in solid use for 3 years. So we're going to have a look at the baffle stack, see if it has started to corrode and chip away. From the outside, it still looks absolutely perfect. Yes, it's got a few scratches on the outside where I've dinged it, but other than that, it looks in pretty good nick. Now, we're literally just unscrewing moderator. Is coming apart relatively easily, and then this is the sort of shroud that covers the baffle stack, and it always takes a fair bit of effort to get off, and there we have it. So the three different pieces. Now, you're seeing this for the first time as well as me. I can't see, yes, there's a lot of rubbish in there, particularly around the sort of edges of the baffle stack here, but actually if you look in the kind of central column, I can't see any corrosion, pitting or anything like that at all. As I said, you can see some build-up of the rubbish which you'd probably expect here, but otherwise, after that's had a good clean, I'd say that's going to look pretty well like new. In terms of the shroud, again, you can sort of see almost like carbon rings built up on the inside here, but again, otherwise, after a pretty good clean, I think that's going to polish up nicely. The inside, and this is the featherweight, so it's not the Ultimate Silence 3D sort of titanium one. So this outer, firstly they are designed to be taken apart, but secondly this outer core is just aluminium. So looking at this, again inside, I can't see any signs of failure, corrosion, pitting. It has a bit of, as I said, bit of carbon build-up again, as you'd expect, and some down in here, but that for three years worth of solid use, I think that's pretty good going. Well done, Freyr and Devik. So we've just been giving the 149 a bit of a clean. As you can see, there's quite a lot of old carbon coming out of it. Not particularly harsh in terms of cleaning, but actually you can see most of that stuff that we were looking at before is pretty well come off. And actually, again, even underneath it, there's not a huge amount of, well, there's no corrosion or pitting or anything like that in it at all. Yes, as I said, there's a bit of carbon build-up, but it's all coming off pretty easily, and it's leaving behind a pretty pristine moderator. The only thing that I can see after 3 years of use is there's a sort of rubber grommet around the top here, which definitely hasn't failed yet, but you can see it's starting to show a bit of signs of wear, which, as I said, you'd expect for 3 years worth of use, but it's definitely not at the point of failing or anything like that. And the rest of the mod actually in remarkably good nick. I'm going to try and get some more of these little bits of carbon out here, and then possibly down at the bottom of the baffle stack here, but pretty good progress for a couple of minutes worth of work. So there you have it, folks, the inner workings of the Featherweight 149 after 3 years worth of fairly solid and harsh use. As I said, I didn't show the full sort of dismantling and reassembling of this because otherwise YouTube will take this video down. Also, I haven't shown you how I've cleaned it inside because it's probably not exactly how Freyr and Devik would advocate, and so therefore I don't want to say something that they possibly wouldn't endorse. All I will say is I've given it a really good thorough clean and then given it a spray on the inside with, again, some Silent Save, just to make sure I've managed to cover and coat all of it, and then I'm going to leave it to dry before putting it back in the gun cabinet. I hope that's answered some of your comments, your concerns and questions around the Freyr and Devik moderators. As I said, Harry and I have been using these for years and very, very happy with them, so would wholeheartedly endorse them. As per usual, please remember to comment, like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.